Patrick Lozano has always kept himself busy with work.
I have a background in law enforcement, but in addition to that, I have been the president and CEO of 4 different Central Valley corporations. And the last one was one that I also owned, in addition to being president and CEO. Some of the other corporations I worked for, I was the hired CEO of the corporation. We sold that company a few years back, 7, almost 8 years ago.
And when he sold his last business, his wife Tiffany Lozano knew he wasn't ready to retire.
And when we did the sale, my wife asked me, she said, "Now I know you don't want to retire, you don't even want to think about slowing down. What do you want to do now?" And I told her, I said, I've been thinking a lot about security. And she said, security? And I said, yes. And she goes, "But you don't like security companies." I said, exactly. I said, I want to see a change in the industry, and I think the best way to bring about change is to do something about it.
And that's exactly what the Lozanos did. Echelon Security is a private security firm in Visalia, established to squash security guard stereotypes and serve clients while also serving the community.
And one of the biggest areas where there's a huge chasm is in the amount of services in assisting businesses with issues caused by unhoused communities. Now, Tiffany and I have a very soft spot in our heart. We've volunteered with the unhoused and the food insecure. For many years, I have been the president of the Bethlehem Center Board here in Visalia. My wife and I have done all types of events and charity fundraising for the homeless long before we ever got into this industry.
So every business has a responsibility to their community, not just to make money. It's not about the money, it's about the things that you can do to better everyone around you.
But how Echelon Security serves the community actually starts with how they do business, reimagining the role their security officers play when responding to calls for service.
I don't know who nominated us, but a handful of people did. And I have to believe it's coming from our clientele. And we have to believe that they're seeing that our approach, because sometimes when I try to sell it to them in the very beginning, they're like, wait a minute. I don't see how you getting to our property and being nice is going to effectively move somebody off the property. Don't you think you need to be a little authoritarian? And I always come back with, what really turns a lot of people off about a lot of people is a sense of over-authority. And that is particularly true when you're dealing with the unhoused community. They deal with authority figures all the time. But are they respected? Are they given just a modicum of respect and ethical treatment? Are they being seen? When I approach an unhoused person and I need to ask them to leave, and when I'm training other officers to do it, we engage them in conversation first. I see you, is what we're saying without saying. How are you doing today? It's really hot. It's warm outside. Are you feeling okay? How's your dog? Because a lot of them have their partner dogs with them. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you know why I'm here. It's time to move on to another property. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you ate? Have you had water today?
This compassionate approach can be seen throughout the business.
Well, families always should be the most important thing. And at Echelon, our employees are like our family.
I think that the way that Patrick runs the business, which is very employee-oriented, he's not afraid to show us off, he's not afraid to introduce us to clients, and he's very adamant about us, doing the right things even when no one's watching. And I feel like that's definitely what put us on the board.
The whole reason, why Echelon, why take on this venture, why go into this market, was completely ethics driven, which is why I was so thrilled that we had a handful of nominations. I didn't know we had one nomination, let alone multiple nominations. And to me, it kind of means that our clients are getting it. I wanted to bring a higher level of ethics and standards into an industry that I personally felt, through my experience in law enforcement, didn't have a very strong ethical backbone.
Which is why Echelon Security is this year's Medium Business recipient of the Better Business Bureau's Ethics Awards.
This is a pinch me moment, Because when we were designing this 7, 8 years ago and laying out our whole game plan and our mission statement and our core values, it all centered on ethics. We were going to bring a higher level of ethics to this industry. Lord help us make this happen. Let's see if people get it. Let's see if we can build a business on this platform and be successful with it, or will people reject it? And you know, when given the better option, people have been embracing it, and we're so thrilled. And to be nominated for the very core thing we were shooting for is a pinch me moment, and we are just so tickled. Whatever awards befall this company in the future, none will compare to this one, because this is why we established this company.